Let's give some tzedakah. And tzedakah is the power for all good things, even to transform opposite of blessings into blessings. And specifically when really in the seemingly rebukes, the seemingly curses, there's really different deep blessings. Why am I mentioning this? Because in today's Torah portion, we read those frightening words of rebuke, of curses that Moshe Rabbeinu is piling onto the Jewish people, as he says, if you follow my mitzvahs, you follow my statutes, then I will give you all the blessings. But if not, oy, oy, oy. And this oy, oy, oy is pretty frightening. To the point that the Mittel Rebbe fainted when he heard that. How could this be? How could this be that Moshe Rabbeinu should give such a frightening, as I said, curses? But really, these are blessings. Because Hasidic philosophy teaches us that all negativity and darkness within the world is a shell that covers and conceals the sparks of good that lies at the core of the experiences of the phenomenon. So, behind those curses, behind the surface, really, they're phenomenal blessings. But they're blessings that are so intense that the only way they can descend to this earth without being obstructed by the forces of judgment is if they come under the guise of a curse. And let's take an example. Pasuk says the following: each man will stumble over his brother, fleeing as if from a sword, but there's nobody pursuing them. They'll be so frightened. Maybe you can use the analogy of beepers. And you will not be able to stand up against your enemies. A pretty frightening situation. So Rashi, basic commentator, says the following: what is the meaning of each man will stumble over his brothers? And he says, in addition to the simple meaning, it also means that each person will be responsible for the sins, for the shortcomings of others. And Rashi adds, why? Because we're all arevim zelozeh, because all Jews are guarantors for one another. And here we find an amazing, beautiful concept. The meaning, the Hebrew word for guarantor is orev. Orev is a guarantor. Kol Yisrael arevim zelozeh. All the Jewish people are responsible, they're guaranteeing for each other. Therefore, we can make kiddush for somebody else, although I already had the kiddush. Why? Because as long as he didn't do the mitzvah, I'm partly missing in the mitzvah too, and therefore I'm allowed to say the kiddush or Havdalah again as an example. But the word arev, which, as we just said, guarantor, has additional meanings. The arev, to mix. Orev, pleasant. So we have three words over here: guarantor, mixed, and pleasant. They seem to be totally disconnected from each other. But really, in this context that we're talking about now, about the Jewish people, they're deeply connected. Because if you think about it, why is one responsible for the other? What is it my responsibility for a Jew that is doing something else? Why do a Jew in Australia or Zimbabwe, for that matter on the moon if he would be there, would be guilty in the eyes of the whole world for something else, what somebody does somewhere else in the world? When a Jewish person does something wrong, it's not that this individual did, it's the Jew who did something bad. Why is that? Now, I'm not here to justify those anti-Semites because they do it for evil reasons. But deeper down, why is that so? Because it's a reality. And the answer is very simple. Because really, we are integrated. We are mixed with each other. Just as the different parts of a body make up for one organism, the well-being of one limb affecting all others, so too All Jews are specific parts of one collective soul and are integrated with each other. And that's pleasant. That's the beauty. So that's the whole idea. We're in exile. What does it bring out in us? The best. It brings out the collective unity. And we see this these days. Since the horrible massacres of last year's Simchas Torah, we see such powerful unity. Jewish people getting together and caring and sharing for each other. So that's the blessing. So Eibishter, now that this blessing is in disguise, how about revealing it and give us the ultimate pleasant presence, Mashiach, in the Beis HaMikdash?